Tales show that the iPhone 14 could remain almost indistinguishable from the iPhone 13. Yet the small model will be traded for a 6.7 inches iPhone Max. New plans, processors, and cameras might be saved for the star arrangement as Apple further separates among passage and premium models. Apple will in general reuse item plan dialects for a few delivery cycles to diminish creation expenses and increment edges. The level-sided update in the iPhone 12 extended into the iPhone 13. With several adjustments to the outside case, an extreme overhaul for the 2022 iPhone might be right on time for Apple's typical update cycle. However conceivable, while Apple some of the time alluded to iPhone refreshes utilizing the S naming show. It hasn't done as such since the iPhone XS, consequently will elude the 2022 iPhone as the iPhone 14 all through this message. iPhone 14 features. The usefulness and list of capabilities of the iPhone is exceptionally dependent on iOS refreshes, other than processor changes and camera refreshes. There are not many adjustments that can be made to the equipment that will on a very basic level change how iOS works. Apple recently presented highlights like Force Touch and Face ID that caused working framework elements to arise around them. For instance, swiping down from one or the other corner around the score will open various menus, something executed around the presence of the True Depth sensor cluster. Noticing Apple configuration patterns, the iPhone 12 saw a takeoff in the adjusted edge configuration. Utilized since the iPhone 6, it moved to a level edge with more slender bezels to stress the all-screen show. Nonetheless, it held a portion of the iPhone X plan language, like the first indent and button situation. The iPhone 13 was presented in 2021 with a significant number of these equivalent components. And the two ages of gadgets are so comparative and easygoing. Onlooker might experience difficulty separating them. The main changes were to the back camera knock and the score. While noticing Apple's plan patterns throughout the last 10 years, choosing a pattern is simple. The iPhone 4 plan was noticeable for 4 ages of iPhones, with some presentation size adjustments. The iPhone 6 update stayed close by until the iPhone X. An additional 4-year cycle assuming you remember iPhone 8 for that count. The iPhone X plan worldview advanced from the iPhone 6 with adjusted edges. However, it just kept close by for quite some time, changing in the iPhone 12 age, in the event that Apple does an additional 3-year configuration cycle. The following iPhone ought to actually acquire from similar components as the iPhone 12, assuming bits of hearsay are valid. The iPhone 14 and iPhone 14 Max will be almost indistinguishable from the iPhone 13 setup they supplant. The little would be replaced by the maximum. Yet different highlights and plans would continue as before. Configuration reports. A large portion of the breaks for iPhone 14 so far have zeroed in on the star models. The iPhone 14 Pro and iPhone 14 Pro Max. That might be on the grounds that Apple is by all accounts adopting an alternate strategy to overhauls for 2022. The Genius models are supposed to lose the score for a pill and opening pattern, a 48MP camera, and the better A16 processor. Nonetheless, the standard models may not be excessively not the same as the current iPhone 13. The primary genuine glance at the iPhone 14 showed up in mid-March with some supposed spilled gadget outline. They showed a close vague plan from the iPhone 13 with a similar indent and comparative camera knock. The charts seem to show thicker casings around the camera focal points in the knock. Yet that is the main recognizable change. Indeed, even the presentation size and bezels continue as before with a 6.1 inches screen. Production network examiner Ming Kai Kuo likewise shared that Apple would call the new bigger standard model the iPhone 14 Max, and it would have a 6.7 inches screen. This would make it a similar size as the iPhone 13 Pro Max. However, would come up short on Genius Include set, on the off chance that the iPhone 13 little is an iPhone 13 contracted down to fit in a more modest bundle. The equivalent could be said for the iPhone 14 Max, however. In Switch, it is normal to have a similar indent, back camera knock, and show specs as its more modest form. Notwithstanding, the battery will probably be bigger on account of the additional room. 3D printed models displayed in April show a marginally thicker and bigger camera knock and an in general bigger gadget. Tests with cases and screen defenders made for the iPhone 13 uncovered inconspicuous measuring contrasts around the gadgets, yet nothing critical. There has been a prominent absence of detail in reports encompassing the standard iPhones. Apple wouldn't call the iPhone 14 a cutting-edge item without presenting some element changes. Yet it isn't clear what those changes might be. Cameras. Apple is supposed to keep offering a 2-camera framework for the iPhone 14. One is a 12MP wide focal point, and the other is a 12MP super wide focal point. The iPhone camera is one of the main parts of the gadget, since it is perhaps of the most utilized. Include Apple by and large adds new abilities to its cameras every age, regardless of whether the actual equipment change a lot. The iPhone 13 Pro got another super wide focal point with self-adjust, which empowered Apple to present a full-scale photography mode. The element could stream down to standard iPhones, since they additionally have a super wide focal point. Tales have long recommended that Apple could move its expert iPhones to 48MP wide cameras. This update would mean a critical leap in visual capacities, yet will be saved for the very good quality. In this way, anticipate that standard models should hold 12MP cameras. All iPhone 14 models are supposed to have 7-component or 7P focal points. Be that as it may, the optics quality would be better for the master models. One more potential update could be brought to the selfie camera. Apple could move to a 12MP super wide focal point. That would carry center stage usefulness to the iPhone. The Mac and iPad setups both approach this element, so it is just regular it would stream down to the most famous FaceTime gadget. Gossip Parduk in late April 2022 recommends that Apple could work on the selfie camera with a more extensive opening of f/1.9, up from f/2.2. The organization could likewise include self-adjust for better center following in video and FaceTime calls. Display. Tales haven't shared any insights concerning what the iPhone 14 show could acquire with regards to innovation or materials. Be that as it may, they have been clear about an element not descending the line to standard models. ProMotion. The 120Hz variable revive show won't be coming to the Passage iPhones in 2022. And Show Production Network Examiner Ross Young says this is because of supply imperatives. The component isn't really saved for the Ace models, and would be accessible once the production network can increase to satisfy need. Maybe in the 2023 iPhone 15. The 6.1 inches Super Retina XDR show on the iPhone 13 will probably return for the iPhone 14. It is a 6.1 inches OLED show with a 460 ppi pixel thickness. The bigger iPhone 14 Max will probably get the iPhone 13 Pro Max show board, just without ProMotion. That is a 6.7 inches Super Retina XDR show with a 458 ppi pixel thickness. No ProMotion additionally implies no consistently in plain view. The supposed showcase overhaul will be saved for master models. However, the new adaptable lock screen will in any case be accessible to all iPhones running iOS 16.